Welcome back to another episode of Every Minute's Fantasy for Week 9. I'm Liam.
And I'm Tyler.
And we got some big predictions for you guys this week.
For quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, playing against Cincinnati, projected at 23 points. They have been hot, Denver, and he's been an extremely stellar quarterback this year.
Peyton's entering the MVP race now. Look for him another big week. Tony Romo, he hasn't been good this year. He's been very inconsistent, and Dallas has done okay. Atlanta this week, who's got a pretty good defense. Only 11 points for Romo this week.
Romo also had a very weak week last week, throwing 5 picks to the Giants, who don't have as good of a defense as Atlanta. Josh Freeman, he's been pumping up the stats these last few weeks. He's projected to have 18 points this week against Oakland. Not a strong defense, and I expect him to do even better than that.
On to the running backs. Matt Forte, look for him to have a huge week this week as he goes up against Tennessee. Chicago's been doing really well, and Matt Forte is returning to old form. 25 points for Forte this week.
A sad Michael Turner this year. Hasn't been playing up to par for what he's done in the past. Going against Dallas, they don't have a very strong defense, but still, he's only projected to have 11 points this week.
Doug Martin had a huge week last week with 32 points. This week you can cut in half, but still a strong week for Doug Martin against the weaker defense of Oakland. 16 points for Martin this week. How about the Whiteouts?
Some receivers. Reggie Wayne, projected to have 19. He's going against Miami's defense. They're a pretty good secondary. Yes, they did. Pretty good secondary. Andrew Luck's going to throw to him often, like he always does. How about Deshaun?
Deshaun Jackson's had a pretty good year. I mean, he got hurt late last week. It wasn't major, so you can look for him to be there. Still, New Orleans defense, they're not very good. So even though Deshaun might only have 8 points projected, look for him to have 8+, as he might do a little bit better than that.
A big sleeper this week, Denarius Moore, going against Tampa Bay, who haven't looked too bad on the defensive side of the ball lately. And Carson Palmer likes to throw to him. Denarius Moore expected to have about 18.
All right, tight ends. Jimmy Graham. Big bounce back week last week for Graham. This week, going against Philly, the defense has been okay. Big week for Graham, with 12 points this week.
Jermichael Finley has been very sad this year. I know we're always talking about him, and he's not producing whatsoever. We told you to drop him last week if you didn't take our advice. Well, can't help you now. 3 points projected against Arizona. I don't know what to do with him anymore.
Greg Olsen, one of Cam Newton's favorite targets, going against the weak defense of Washington this week. He's our big sleeper this week with 12 points.
Some defenses. Well, Bears D, always a strong defense out there. Expect them to have about 10+ points against Tennessee. Haven't been doing very much.
The Ravens D, big surprise this week. Cleveland, who's not very good. Ravens, you expect the defense to dominate, but there are bad defense this week. Only 4 points for Baltimore. So
Packers D.
I mean, it's not pretty good. How about Packers?
Yeah, Packers D. They have been an average defense this year. Expect them to go big against Arizona. Hold them to few points. And Green Bay gonna play like their defensive old. 11 points this week.
Keep in mind that all the 49ers defense has a bye this week, so you can't start them this week if you have them. How about the kickers?
Kickers. Small name out there, Kai Forbat. Not even sure who he is. Projected to have 12 points against Carolina. He's Washington's kicker. If nobody knows about him, go out, pick him up. Try and get him to start for you. With 12 points, I'll take that from a kicker any day.
All right.
Who's got our buys this week?
Buys, New England, the Jets, San Francisco, and St. Louis. New England, you can't have Brady, Wes Welker, no Gronk. This is going to be a big week for some players. Jets, no Sean Green, no Mark Sanchez if you have him.
I don't think he'd be starting.
Niners, no defense, no Alex Smith, who did really well.
Frank Gore, which is a big one.
Crabtree. And St. Louis, there's no Bradford or Steven Jackson, so.
Might be a little happy about Steven Jackson not
Yeah.
being there. How about one pretty key injury for the Giants?
Victor Cruz. He's questionable this week, so maybe Ramses Barden will get a couple more targets, possibly Keem Nicks. Cruz hurt his calf, and he's questionable, so still start him, but don't look for him to produce as much. About Percy Harvin.
Well, Percy Harvin, he's probable this week. He's got that hamstring injury, which isn't too severe, but he also does have a couple personal issues right now. Expect him to play, but expect him to have other stuff on his mind. That hamstring injury, I wouldn't look for him to have a very big week this week.
All right, now into the picks for this week.
Who do you
Texans,
have?
Bills. I have the Texans.
I have Texans too. There's no chance the Bills are going to beat that defense. And Arian Foster, no chance. How about Ravens, Browns?
Even though the Ravens' defense isn't projected too good, I still have the Ravens winning this one. They're too good to lose to the Browns.
Agreed.
Redskins, Panthers.
I have the Redskins going to win this one. RG3's been strong. Alfred Morris, big year this year.
How about Bears, Titans?
I got the Bears winning again.
I do too. Bears are really good right now.
Yeah, they're playing well. Brandon Marshall, their defense. How about Broncos, Bengals?
I have the Broncos. I think Peyton Manning made them the Super Bowl contender. It's pretty
Right
good.
now, the Broncos are the best team in the league.
You think so?
Right now,
No, they're not the best. But
they're playing the best right now. Bengals, nowhere near that. Broncos are winning that one.
How about Lions, Jaguars?
I have the Lions winning this.
Yeah, I agree. The Jaguars aren't good.
Jaguars have been very off this season.
Packers, Cardinals.
I have the Packers winning.
I agree too.
I know you were all over the Cardinals early this year, but where'd they go?
They dropped off. I know.
How about Colts, Dolphins?
The Dolphins crushed the Jets last week. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
I don't know, Colts?
You just pick the Colts if you like.
You picked the Eagles because you like them every
Eagles
week
are
too.
better than the Colts.
Whatever. I have the Colts winning this one. They've won their last few. I think they're going to continue that and beat the Dolphins.
How about Vikings, Seahawks?
I have the Seahawks winning that.
I have the Vikings. Adrian Peterson looks like he's from 08. I mean, he's doing really well. And Christian Ponder doing good too. He's got the good targets of Percy Harvin and Kyle Rudolph. They're going to win it.
I think the Seahawks are going to win this. Marshawn Lynch is probable for this week, but I think they're going to play very well this week.
How about Bucks, Raiders?
I have the Buccaneers winning this.
I agree too. Raiders aren't good at all. It's like the Jaguars. It's not good.
Giants, Steelers?
Giants.
Yeah, with all those Steelers injuries on the defensive side.
But the hurricane that just passed by could have affected the Giants, so maybe a bigger week for the Steelers this week. Mentally, the Giants might not be in it all the way, but
I still have the Giants winning that. Falcons, Cowboys.
Falcons.
I couldn't agree more there. Falcons, they're just a better team. Cowboys with Romo throwing five interceptions a week. Can't have that as a
It's not going to
big
win
place,
games.
big team. How about Eagles, Saints?
I have the Eagles.
Of course you do.
But who do you have?
I have the Saints.
Why?
Because they've been playing well lately.
Yeah, but the Eagles are a similar style of team, just with a more explosive offense. And their defense is better too.
But now that everybody's back on that team,
It's a
they're
Monday
good.
night game, so I mean,
the Saints are going to beat the Eagles. You know, I've been with the Saints all season.
they're not going to. And any notable trading blocks before we go this week?
Kyle Rudolph has not been performing like he was, not producing the points anymore. I suggest trade him if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, even drop and pick up another small name tight end.
Vic Ballard. The Colts are getting Donald Brown back, and Vic Ballard's going to move back to second string, and he might not be as good. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Liam,
And I'm Tyler.
and we'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Pat here with the Daily Dolphins Facts for Week 9. And this week I'm going to talk about Dan Marino and how his number 13 was retired by the Miami Dolphins and the University of Pittsburgh. That's all.